What's up, man? We midway through the week. This Saturday we have Jose Benavidez versus Terrence Crawford in a welterweight clash. I'm gonna talk about that in a minute, but Tony Bellew supposed to be fighting Usyk. We all know that, right? He says that he want he they now Tony Bellew has said that he might retire after this fight, but then also he said that it'd be hard for him to retire if he beat Usyk. Let me tell you, if Tony Bellew beat Usyk, he is not retiring. He will have some money fights out there if he beat Usyk. Now I don't think he's gonna beat Usyk. It's the main reason to me, not only because Usyk is a good fighter. Bellew has to lose all that weight, man. And Bellew is in his 30s. Fighters get in their 30s, man. It's not good to be losing weight. You know what I'm saying? Your body clings to all that weight. Your body clings to and used to having the weight that you carrying on your person, and it's just not good when I'm always alarmed when a guy in his 30s want to lose weight and fight, and especially fight a good fighter like Usyk. You know what I'm saying? Usyk is the undisputed. He's undisputed. He has all the belts. There's no he's a champion. There's no he's a unified champion. No, Usyk has all the titles, and he's for real. Now, I seen some things. I seen a couple Usyk fights, and some things I don't. He's a little robotic. You know what I'm saying? He is a little robotic, but he's good at what he does. You know what I'm saying? He can move in and out. Bellew will have the height advantage, and that's about all the advantage he will have, in my opinion. I just think now it's a good legacy fight for Bellew if he can pull it off, if he can win. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It'll help his legacy, but always it's always a red flag when a guy wants to go down and fight. Now, see, he's not going down to fight anybody at cruiserweight. He's going to fight the man at cruiserweight. You know what I'm saying? The guy that's been dominating the cruiserweight division for the last 2 or 3 years. He's going to fight that guy. He's not going to fight the number five guy or the number six or number seven guy. So, like I said, if Bellew can get down correctly and still have strength and his reflexes not bothered by the weight loss, and him being able to go the distance if he needs to without burning out, or what I'm saying, getting fatigued, then it's a real good fight because he does have the power to knock out Usyk. You know what I'm saying? But he has to be able to hit Usyk, because Usyk is a guy that moves. Like I said, he moves in and out. He's an energetic fighter. I mean, the fights that I've seen, he's constantly moving. He's not really standing in front of you, just trading. The man can box. So, still, even if Tony Bellew is able to get down, it's still going to be a tough fight for Tony Bellew. But yeah, Jeff Horn is fighting Mundine. Now he's coming back off that Terrence Crawford loss. Prior to that, he beat Manny Pacquiao. We all know. How much did Jeff Horn got left? I don't know. Is this fight at 154 or is it at 147? I think Jeff Horn is a big 147. Now, should he be fighting at 154? He probably should be. Is this a fight at 154? I have no idea if this fight at 154. Let's see. Let me see if this fight. Mundine is 43. Oh, come on. He's going to beat Mundine, man. I know Mundine was 43 years old. I don't care if this is at 147 or 154. He should beat 43-year-old Mundine. Now, Jeff Horn said he'll retire if he loses this fight. He's not going. He shouldn't lose to Mundine. If he loses to Mundine, yeah, he right. He should retire. But I don't see him losing to I think that's Anthony Mundine. I think his name is Anthony Mundine. I don't see him losing that fight. If he does, he's right. He should retire. So, yeah, that's Jeff Horn. He should not be. You know what I'm saying? He should not hold his head down losing to Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford is a tremendous fighter. In my book, Terrence Crawford is the pound for pound best fighter in the world, and that's who you lost to. So that doesn't mean you can't compete against the Danny Garcias of the world, the Keith Thurmans of the world. Maybe the Earl Spencers of the world, or the Sean Porters of the world. You know what I'm saying, or other welterweights like Berto and guys of that nature. You can probably still compete with those guys. Maybe we'll see if you get in the ring with them, but him losing to Terrence Crawford is not a big setback for him. But Victor Ortiz and his problems. Victor Ortiz got problems, man. Leah, like I said, I didn't get to see the Delorme Vargas fight, but Vargas got another draw. That's not good for Vargas. Back to back draws. We all know he got a draw versus Adrian Broner. Vargas is just not a fighter that's just going to like clearly. He's not a fighter that's going to clearly separate himself from fighters, man. He just doesn't do it. Now, he even before Vargas became a little prominent, he was having fights that were close and controversial fights. He was getting victories in controversial fights that I seen. I seen some of his fights, especially he used to fight. He used to fight on Mayweather undercard sometimes, and I seen a couple of fights that probably should have went the other way, and it probably would have went the other way if he wasn't connected. If he didn't have a machine like Bob Arum behind him or Mayweather behind him, that he probably would have lost the fight. I believe that was that Mauricio Herrera fight. I think he did fight Mauricio Herrera. I believe that was Mauricio Herrera. I seen that fight that day. That's before I even knew really who Mauricio Herrera was, and I think that was the fight that I thought that one of the fights that I thought Vargas lost. Now, do I think he won an Adrian Broner fight? That was a close fight. That was a close fight. You probably could have called it either way. It's just the fact that I never thought any one of those guys had real control over the fight. It was going back and forth. So, like I said, in that fight, Vargas could not separate himself. And from the Delorme decision, a lot of people were getting on him for losing to Delorme, but Delorme is a pretty decent fighter, man. Delorme can fight. Delorme, he can handle himself up in there. And for me, I wouldn't give Vargas a hard time for drawing that fight because I don't think Vargas is that much superior. I don't think Vargas is a superior fighter. I don't think Vargas is a world beater. I think Vargas is him and Delorme is about on the same level. And now, if he better than Delorme, he's probably slightly better than Delorme, but that's not enough for me to say he's gonna go in there and dominate Delorme. He's slightly better than Delorme. And like I said, Delorme gave Terrence Crawford some problems for the first 4 rounds. So like I said, Delorme can fight, man. A lot of people saying that Vargas is nothing because he lost that fight. Vargas' best fight was against because he knocked out Saddam Ali. That was his best. Now he separated himself in that fight because he knocked him out. You know what I'm saying? Vargas, he lost to an older Manny Pacquiao, which is he shouldn't hold his head down because Manny Pacquiao still at that age, and at this age he is now, he still can beat fighters. So that was no bad loss, but him having 2 back-to-back draws, you know what I'm saying? It gets a little dicey, man. You having 2 back-to-back draws, and they need to go ahead and have a rematch. And that fight was on the zone, so yeah, they need to go ahead and have a rematch and clear that up. I know a lot of people are disappointed about Canelo. Now, this is my only thing. This is only my only gripe about the Canelo situation. Now, he can go up and fight for a title at 168 if he wants to. Like, okay, is that what you want to do? Go do it. You want to try to capture another title, try to add on to, collecting belts, but like I said, if you don't fight the man at 168 you're supposed to be fighting, you know what I'm saying? You just up there just for nothing. I think he's a solid B. Yeah, that's why. Vargas is a solid B-class fighter. You're right. Yeah, he's a solid B-class fighter. Very solid. If you're not on your P's and Q's, Vargas can beat you, or he can give you a tough fight to some of the top guys. But he will always have, yeah. He will always have trouble separating himself, you know, in fights unless he knock out guys like he knocked out Saddam Ali. But what was I talking about? I was talking about oh yeah, Canelo. Now, if Canelo go up to 168, he should come back down and fight Charlo. Now, the WBC said Charlo had to fight Triple G. I don't understand why Charlo has to fight Triple G if he was the mandatory or whoever won that fight between Canelo and Triple G. He should be able to fight Canelo. Now, we all know Canelo is well connected with the WBC. Look, man, we all know it. And they are trying to have Charlo and Triple G beat each other up. So whoever wins, they're gonna come out with some damage, and then Canelo can fight somebody that's a little bit softened up. That's what this is all about. Because Charlo should be able to go straight to Canelo. In my opinion, he should be able to go straight to Canelo. Because that's what they said. They said the winner is Charlo's. Charlo is the mandatory to whoever win, not the loser. Now they trying to put the loser in front of Charlo to soften Charlo up some, and hopefully Charlo will get beat. And then hopefully if Charlo get beat, he put some more damage on the older Triple G. So we know what they doing, man. But yeah, Canelo, it's been well documented. Canelo has been making his own rules, making his own weight divisions, running away from the Charlos at 154, Demetrius Andrade, just running away from guys. He come to 160. Yeah, he fought Cotto, a smaller 160. Yeah, he fought Triple G, a little bit older Triple G, where he feel like, well, and he was steroided up. I don't care what nobody say. The man was steroided up. And once you do that, it brings your whole career into question, in my opinion. Because of the fact that he had stamina issues, and what he was known to take helps with your stamina is no coincidence. Canelo is on my shit list. You know what I'm saying? So you can't come into a important fight, fail the drug test, fight the guy again, and the guy hitting you with some pretty good shots, and you don't get remotely hurt. I mean, he was a little dazed, but like I said, man, you never know, man. That's Oscar De La Hoya's cash cow. Canelo is what keeping Golden Boy promotion afloat, and they can't afford to lose him, man. That's why he's strategically being moved around. I mean, and that's no lie. That's why he's strategically being moved around. And De La Hoya is not going to put him that much in harm's way. I don't care what nobody say, man. You can say what you want to say. Yeah, I seen an interview with Fury and Wilder. They doing a lot of interviews, and Fury is getting in Wilder's head, man. He's getting in Wilder's head. This is calculated, by Fury to try to get in Wilder's head, try to get Wilder to come out there and fight angry and fight reckless. You know what I'm saying? So Fury is trying to give himself the best chance to win, because in my opinion, Fury can't. I mean, he's not going to win the fight. So who you got, Wilder or Fury? I got Wilder, man. I got Wilder. If this fight was announced, if they was gonna fight maybe 3 years ago, right after Fury beat Klitschko, I would have said it was a 50-50 fight, because Fury can fight when Fury is right. I don't think Fury is right. You can't tell me the two guys that he fought, that he got in the ring with, prepared him to fight Deontay Wilder. You can't tell me that. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear people say that, because that is the same people, the same group of people that told me before Rigondeaux fought Lomachenko And before the Axeman Nicholas Walter fought Lomachenko, they told me that, and I already knew. They said that Lomachenko always fighting guys that come off of long layoffs and inactivity. Now you gonna tell me that these two guys who Fury should have used in sparring wouldn't even. Now I'm gonna tell you this: Fury would not even use these two level opponents in sparring to get him ready for Wilder. I bet you he gonna have better sparring partners than the two guys that he fought to get ready for Wilder. How silly is that? And you're gonna try to tell me that Fury is ready for Wilder, that this is a super fight. That last dude he fought was, yeah, man, that last dude he fought was a joke. This is not a super fight. A super fight entails both guys coming in close or not close, or as close to the top of their games as possible, with credible victories in their prior fights prior to them two fighting. So you can't tell me that the guys that Fury fought, don't bring up that he beat Klitschko. Don't bring, that was 3 years ago, man. That was 3 years ago before he admitted this. So I don't even have to say allegedly no more, because I was saying allegedly because I didn't, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to put nothing on somebody that I don't know really. But Fury was on the Breakfast Club saying that he was out of shape. He was close to 400 pounds. I remember him doing an interview that he was close to saying that he was close to 400 pounds. That he said he did every drug in the book. And he said he had some mental problems, depression. He wanted to commit suicide. So you mean to tell me a guy like that, and that was all, and all that was, it was still prevalent a year ago, just like 12 months ago. You gonna mean to tell me that he's ready to fight Deontay Wilder? Come on, y'all. Fury needs, yeah. When last year when Fury said he was coming back, he said, "I'm not gonna be in a rush. I'm gonna take my time and fight the right opponents." And when he said that last year, I said, well, he's about 2.5 years away from fighting anybody in the top 5 of the heavyweight division. You know what I'm saying? He's like 2 years away, 2.5 years away, and about 5 or 6 fights away. And you mean to tell me the two guys that he fought that was ranked, one was ranked 130 something and another one was ranked 120 something, that he's ready to fight Wilder? No, man. See, it may not be a mega fight, but to the average customer that will buy it, care as long. Well, he needs to fight actual heavy. Yeah, Fury is selling the fight. You know what I'm saying? And they selling it the best they can, because yeah, you're right. A lot of people are not going to pay attention to the fact that Fury, had the problems that he had, and they're not going to pay attention to the guys he fought on you know what I'm saying, the last two guys that he fought. So yeah, you're right about that. But me, I'm not getting caught up in that. I know boxing, and I know you cannot come back from all those problems and think you about to fight one of the best heavyweights. You know what I'm saying? No, it's not gonna happen, man. I see this fight now. What needs to happen in this fight is Wilder need to handle his business. This fight cannot go past 5 rounds. If this fight start going 6, 7, 8, if this fight go to distance, and if somehow Fury kind of mucked the fight up to where he made Wilder look bad, but Wilder still wins on the scorecard, split decision or something like that, that's gonna be bad for Wilder. Wilder's stock is in stake. His stock can go down if Fury go in there. Now, people gonna say the same thing anyway. If Fury go in there and make the fight a real close fight, or what I'm saying, like I said, make it look good, people gonna say, well, Wilder, how can you let a guy that came from that's been out for 3 years, essentially fought 2 guys that he shouldn't even fought to get ready for you? How can you let him go the distance? And if Fury knock him out in 2 rounds, they're gonna say, well, he was off for 3 years. So this is a no-win situation for Deontay Wilder. So I mean, to me, this is nothing but a money grab for Deontay Wilder. This is all this is a money grab, because he could have fought more credible opponents like Dillian White. I wanted to see him fight Dillian White. Now I know Wilder gonna knock out Dillian White, but at least it would have been more competitive. it would have been more competitive. Now, can Tyson Fury turn back the clock quick enough to, and he come in and he looks close to the Tyson Fury that fought Klitschko? Can that happen? Anything is possible, but I'm not gonna bank on that. I'm not gonna that you can't call this a super fight if if you saying anything is possible. You know what I'm saying? You can't a super fight, you supposed to go into a super fight knowing that it's a 50-50 fight. Any one of these guys can win. You can't go into a super fight saying, man, I don't know if that guy mentally or physically ready to fight. How's that a super fight? And people think, oh, because Fury is the lineal champion. Fury is not the lineal champion because I already explained. Fury is not the lineal champion because Klitschko was never the lineal champion. Klitschko and his brother, the linealship and undisputed goes together. It's just because we're living in this era where all these belts, people are getting the definition of lineal so messed up. Yes, it's the man that beat the man, but who was the man between the two Klitschko brothers? They both had belts. Who was the man? It's up to your interpretation, right? So it's up to your opinion. But your opinion doesn't make fact. You can say, okay, in my opinion, because the younger Klitschko got the most belts, I'm gonna make him the lineal champion. No, you can't do that because guess what? The older brother had a chance to beat the lineal champion, which was Lennox Lewis. He lost to Lennox Lewis. Lennox Lewis retired. Lennox Lewis retired undisputed lineal champion. So, then the belts got dispersed, and then the younger Klitschko picked up belts, and then the older Klitschko picked up the WBC. When the older Klitschko retired, Bermane Stiverne and Chris Arreola fought for the vacant title. Meanwhile, the younger Klitschko had all the other belts, including the IBO. He had all the other belts. And when Bermane Stiverne knocked out Chris Arreola and then beat him in a rematch and then retained the WBC title, Deontay Wilder came in and not knocked out, but he beat Bermane Stiverne and became the WBC title. Now, Klitschko was supposed to go fight either Bermane Stiverne when he had the title. Then he had another chance to go fight for the title when Deontay Wilder had the title. Now, if he would have beat Deontay Wilder, he would have became he would have started his own bloodline. He would have became the undisputed lineal champion. Then he would have became the lineal champion. Because now the linealship and the undisputed they're both out there in the wind. Now, Wilder and Joshua, whoever wins that fight, will start their own bloodline since Lennox Lewis retired. Then a new bloodline will start with undisputed, and lineal will go with whoever wins that fight. That's how it works, ladies and gentlemen. Now, your opinion is your opinion, but the fact of the matter is the younger Klitschko was never the lineal champion because he did not beat Lennox Lewis. And he did not establish his own bloodline because his brother had one of the titles. Now, I didn't expect him to fight his brother. Okay, I didn't expect him to fight his brother. But being said, you pay a price for linealship. You don't get the linealship then because you ain't going to fight your brother. Okay, so when your brother vacated that title, why didn't you go fight the winner of Bermane Stiverne and Chris Arreola? Or why didn't you go fight the winner of Chris Arreola, Bermane Stiverne and Deontay Wilder? Never done it. I wish these fighters, boxing need a little bit more structure. That's why I like the UFC model, because in the UFC model is one belt per weight class. Yes, they have interim champions. That's only when the champion is hurt. That's the only time they have interim champions. That's the only time boxing should have interim champions. They got one belt, one weight class. We know who the champion is, and we know who the contenders are. So when you look at the welterweight division, between Keith Thurman, Earl Spence, Sean Porter, and Terrence Crawford, who's the champion and who are the contenders? They're all contenders because guess what? There is no champion. When you go look at BoxRec, or if you go look at Ring Magazine, when you see the top 10, You see the belt holders and you see champion is vacated. The champion is vacated. There are no champions at welterweight. They're all contenders that need to fight each other. They all are. Now they got belts, but what does that really mean if all of y'all got belts? All of y'all can't be champions. There's only can be one king. All of y'all can't be kings in the same division, in the same weight class. Same thing for heavyweight. Joshua and Wilder, they're both contenders. Even though Joshua got more belts, he's still not the champion because he still got to go beat Wilder for the last belt. Wilder still got to go beat him for the other 3 belts. So when everybody walking around talking about, oh, Wilder is the real champion, no, Joshua's the real champion. No, neither one of those guys are champions because if you go look at Ring Magazine and you look at the top 10 heavyweights, when you go to the very top, it's going to say champion is going to be vacated. In most weight divisions other than cruiserweight, cruiserweight is the only weight division that has an undisputed champion in Usyk. Now, Terrence Crawford, before he moved up, he was the only champion at 140, but then he moved up, dropped all the belts, and he moved up and fought Jeff Horn for the WBO 147 championship. They're losing fans because of stupidity. The promoters of this sport are the ones who started all these belts to I mean, not really the sanctioning bodies came in and you know, at first, we had prominent weight classes, and then the sanction body said, you know what, we can create more belts because it's easier to sell a fight on TV when you have a belt involved. So the more belts out there, the more title fights you can have, the more quote unquote title fights you can have. They're not real title fights, but you can call them title fights and you can sell fights like that. That's why they will never, now the cat is out the bag, they never going to get rid of all these belts. The belts are going to be here. It's just up to the fighter to try to go out there and collect all the belts and try to be undisputed. That's why I say they should have tournaments every couple years to get all these belts within one person's hand. They need to have tournaments every year. Every other year. Have a tournament every other year for all these weight classes. And that will create a vacuum so we can get more undisputed champions. That's what they think, but it's not working. Yeah, it's not working. Now because everybody's seeing straight through this stuff, man, because this is the age of information. You know what I'm saying? I'm 41 years old. I started watching boxing like the first boxing match the first boxing match I seen with an educated eye probably had to be educated eye, probably Whitaker and De La Hoya. Probably with an educated eye, probably Whitaker and De La Hoya. But I seen other fights before then with my uncles. My uncles used to always look at fights. The first fight I known that was on TV was Sugar Ray Leonard versus Hagler, because all my uncles was in the house arguing over who they thought was going to win the fight. So, but the educated eye probably had to be the first big fight I seen. No, I seen Major Taylor versus Chavez too. I seen that fight too. I remember, Major Taylor was beating Chavez, but he was getting the worst of it. His face was looking all messed up. Boxing has been going down here. Hopefully this Fury versus Wilder fight come through and it doesn't disappoint. Now, like I said, it could be a good fight. Like I said, it could be a good fight. But I don't like going into a big fight, a so-called big super fight, saying it could be a good fight. I want to go into the fight knowing, man, it's gonna be a competitive fight. I'm wondering who's gonna win. That's what a super fight is. That's what a super fight does to you. You know what I'm saying? Like Leonard and Hearns, like Leonard and Duran, like Oscar and Trinidad. Even though that didn't live up, even though that was a iffy fight, but Trinidad and Hopkins and people like fights like that, man. Holyfield and Bowe, you know what I'm saying? Holyfield and Lennox Lewis. Fights like that, man. Those are the fights you go in like, man, I don't know who's gonna win, man. That's a super fight. This is not a super fight, man. Okay, this is not a super fight. This is not a super fight potential. but it could turn into a super fight if they get in the ring and perform. I'm gonna put it that way, but the anticipation is not there for me. What's going on with Saunders versus Andrade? I thought Saunders I thought he was stripped, but I have to read further into it. Maybe he's not stripped. I don't know. Should Saunders get stripped? I think Saunders should get stripped. I think Saunders and Demetrius Andrade fight should still go on, but strip Saunders and let Andrade be the only one to fight for the title. If Saunders win, he doesn't get the belt. If Demetrius Andrade win, he gets the belt. Because Saunders, he cheated, man. So he should be stripped of the title. He cheated. I mean, I don't feel sorry for the man. The man cheated. So I hope the fight still go on because to me it's a good matchup, man. I mean, I hope the fight go on because it's a good matchup. To me, I want to see that fight. I want to see how Demetrius Andrade, deal with somebody that moves like that and can box like that, Saunders. I want to see how Saunders deal with Demetrius Andrade's jab and crisp hand speed. I want to see that matchup, man. But I don't know what's happening with that fight, man. But I'm gonna talk about we got Terrence Crawford versus Jose Benavidez. Now, do you think Pac-Man versus Mayweather will sell? Not part two. It ain't gonna sell with me. That cat is out the bag, man. Ain't now if they would have did now they had a dull fight the first fight. If they would have did a rematch a year later, I believe it would have sold. But now, no, it's not gonna sell, man. It's a lot of people saying they don't even want to see the fight, man. There's a lot of people was turned off from the first fight, and it took y'all 5-6 years to get in the ring the first time. Nah. I'm not. I mean, I'll look at it, but I'm not paying for it. I'm not paying for it. I'm not giving it no publicity. I'm not going to make videos about it. I'm not going to break it down. I'm not doing none of that stuff. So, no. Unless Mayweather coming back saying he going to fight Earl Spence, Sean Porter, Keith Thurman, Terrence Crawford, it should go on. The first fight gave a big blow to because it was a lot of people I turned on that fight. A lot of people that really didn't know a lot about boxing. They was asking me like, man, should I order the fight? I was like, yo, man. I was like, yeah, dude, order the fight. It's gonna be a good fight. Man, it was a dull, and people told me like, man, I shouldn't have ordered that. I mean, people were disappointed, man. People were disappointed of the first Mayweather Pacquiao fight. Now I picked Pacquiao to win. Mayweather won. I got to give props to Mayweather. He won the fight. That made him the fighter of the era. So it is what it is. Will sell, but nowhere near it. I mean, they will probably get about 1.5, 1.6 million buys. They'll probably get that much because Pacquiao still got a good following and Mayweather got a good following, so they'll get that much. They're not gonna get a whole lot of casual fans though, because the reason why it sold as much as it did was a lot of casual fans. Casual fans mixed with regular boxing fans is what helps sell a fight. You can't just sell a fight off of casual fans and have a big money fight and make a lot of money. You gotta bring in casual fans, and that fight brought in a lot of casual fans. Nobody won the fight. It was so trash, man. It was trash, dude. It was trash. I give you that. It was trash. And I want to talk about Crawford and Jose Benavidez. I mean, a lot of people getting on Crawford for fighting Jose Benavidez. I'm not one of them. Crawford made his debut versus Jeff Horn. He beat Jeff Horn for the WBO title. Now he's fighting Benavidez. He just came from 140, Terrence Crawford, so I'm not mad that he's fighting Benavidez. He still this will still help him, as he continued to grow into welterweight. Benavidez is a big guy, tall, long, aggressive, likes to fight. I mean, that's gonna play into Terrence Crawford's hands because Terrence Crawford, he's a great counterpuncher. But Terrence Crawford can do it all. Terrence Crawford can fight off his back foot, his front foot. He can walk you down. He can fight off angles. He can counterpunch you. So he got a really good jab. I think Terrence Crawford got probably the second best jab, maybe the third best jab next to Demetrius Andrade because I like his in Triple G jab. Those guys got the best jabs in boxing. But Terrence Crawford got a really good jab. And then Terrence Crawford can fight southpaw. Terrence Crawford can do it all, man. I want to see Crawford versus Mikey Garcia. Crawford versus Mikey Garcia. I mean, I like Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia can fight, man. Mikey Garcia is well schooled. His brother Robert Garcia was a really good fighter back in the day. He was undefeated until he fought my guy. What's the name? My guy. Shoot, I always forget this man's name. He died in a motorcycle accident, but I'll get his name. But yeah, so he comes from a family of fighters. Can he beat Terrence Crawford? I don't. I don't think he can beat Terrence Crawford for this reason. Terrence Crawford does everything Mikey Garcia does, but he does it better. He does it better, man. But Mikey Garcia is a great fighter. Can I say that Terrence Crawford 100% would beat Mikey Garcia? I can't say 100%, but I will pick Terrence Crawford in that fight. Benavidez has a chance, but Mikey versus Crawford is where it is. It'll be a great fight. Mikey should challenge Crawford before waiting to fight Spence. I'm gonna tell you right now, Mikey Garcia, and I know people were like, man, how you gonna say that? Mikey Garcia got a better chance of beating Earl Spence than he got to beat Terrence Crawford, y'all. I'm gonna say because of this reason. Terrence Crawford has so many ways to win a fight, man, and it's so much stuff you have to worry about with Terrence Crawford. With Earl Spence, yes, Earl Spence is he fights. Now he only can fight going forward, in my opinion. If Mikey Garcia keeps Earl Spence in the center of the ring, keep the fight in the center of the ring, which Mikey Garcia is very good at doing, he has a great chance of eking out a victory versus Earl Spence. He cannot keep the fight in he cannot box. He's not gonna outbox Terrence Crawford for 12 rounds. He can outbox Spence for 12 rounds. So, that's where it's at with me. That's how I see it. Yeah, Diego Corrales. Yeah, that's my dude, Diego Corrales, man. But that's how I see that fight, man. But I expect Jose Benavidez to put up a good fight, man. As long as it lasts, I expect him to put up a good fight. But to me, about round 5 or 6, Terrence Crawford gonna take over, and we're gonna see the cream rise to the top. I can see Terrence Crawford probably stopping him around 8 or 9. Because Terrence Crawford is a adaptive, reactive fighter. What I mean by that is he take the first round or two to figure out what you're gonna do, and he put that in the computer bank. He sees how your punch pattern. He looks at your foot movement, and he just sees what you like to throw, what you react to, how you react to the feints, and then about round 3 or 4, you will start seeing Terrence Crawford connect a lot. Now, if Jose Benavidez come out fast, if he comes out like I think he may come out, then you probably see Terrence Crawford break him down and knock him out in 5 or 6 rounds. But if he come out behind his jab, because Jose Benavidez is tall, he's long. If he come out behind his jab, if he make Terrence Crawford work coming in and has to think about getting hit by that jab, then it can last a little longer. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the Terrence Crawford versus Benavidez. And after that fight, if Terrence Crawford beat Jose Benavidez, I'm calling for the Terrence Crawford versus Earl Spence fight right away. Yeah. See, I always said that when Terrence Crawford was at 135, I was saying Terrence Crawford can beat these guys at 147, and a lot of people was telling me, no man, he's gonna be too small to go up there and fight those guys. Terrence Crawford too skinny. I told them, I said Terrence Crawford has the same exact dimensions as Floyd Mayweather. Now, I ain't talking about fighting style. I ain't talking about his whole fighting style. I'm talking about the way their bodies are formed. That long muscle skeletal body with long arms for your height, and they're both 5'8". They both got long arms. They both can box. They both can fight off their front foot, back foot. Defensively, I give Mayweather a little bit more defensively, but Terrence Crawford is really good defensively. And Terrence Crawford can't fight southpaw. So I said Terrence Crawford can handle himself versus big man. Terrence Crawford has the style that can move up. Not everybody's style can move up. Like Earl Spence is gonna have trouble when he move up to 160 because his style is to come forward. He only can fight on his front foot, in my opinion. That I seen. I seen his most prominent fight versus Kell Brook. He did better when he was going forward, walking Kell Brook down. He didn't do good when he was in the center of the ring. So I told him then that Terrence Crawford can beat everybody at 147. I said his hardest fight is going to be against Keith Thurman because Keith Thurman also can fight both ways. Keith Thurman also moves well. Keith Thurman has explosive power, and Keith Thurman is quick. So I always thought Keith Thurman when he's right, he can get Terrence Crawford some trouble. Won't happen until 2020. What won't happen until 2020? Crawford and Spence. I thought Floyd was a little thicker in the body. Is Floyd a little thicker in the body? The only reason, no, you had to see Floyd at 135. If you seen Floyd, go back and look at Floyd at 135 and look at Floyd at 130, and look at Terrence Crawford at 130 and 135. They both had that same body build. Now you got to look at it. Terrence Crawford just came to 147. Now in this fight with Benavidez, Terrence Crawford going to look a little bit more thicker than he looked versus Jeff Horn, because now his body is getting acclimated to being at 147. And if Terrence Crawford fight again for the third time at welterweight, he's going to look even more thicker. So they have the same type of body style. Oh yeah, you're right. At 135, they look they look similar. At 135, they look similar. Floyd had that Skeletor long body at 130, 135. So Floyd didn't start getting thick until he came to 147. By Floyd's maybe his third fight at 147, he started getting a little bit more thicker in the chest. Shoulders and chest started getting a little bit more thicker. That happens though as you get older too. You know what I'm saying? You hold more water in your muscles as you get older, so that plays a part in it too. Terrence Crawford is 30 years old now, so he's about to start getting that what they call old man weight, where you're gonna have that little build up there. Earl has zero defense. I wouldn't say Earl has zero defense, but Earl get hit. Earl is not hard to hit. Mainly, see, this is why it looks like Earl has zero defense. This is why you saying that. It's because Earl likes to fight on his front foot, and when you put weight on your front foot, it's hard to get away from punches. Now I used to box. I boxed I had a couple professional fights. So I've been in the gym. I've been around fighters. The rule of thumb is you don't want to put too much weight on your front foot because it's harder for you to get out of the way of punches. And that's why Earl Spence get hit by punches he really shouldn't get hit by the people he get hit by with him. But see, Earl Spence want to destroy you. Earl Spence has that bull in a china shop. He wants to walk through you. And Terrence Crawford is going to be the wrong style for Earl Spence because Terrence Crawford is the matador. He's the ultimate matador. I mean, we'll see when they fight. But yeah, it'll happen over time. Crawford, Thurman, and Spence won't happen until 2020. Crawford said he wants Earl Spence next after this fight. Earl Spence fights on his front foot, true, but that's where he gets that power. Yeah. That is where he gets that power. But when you looking for that power, when you looking to knock somebody out, you sacrifice your defense. When you have all your when you have your weight down on your front foot, you can get more power. In turn, you can get hit by punches too, though. So it's a give and take. But Earl Spence doesn't make any adjustments in the ring. He just fights harder. When he beat Kell Brook, to me after the 6 rounds, Kell Brook to me was up 4-2, and this one guy who I know who was rooting for Earl Spence admitted that Earl Spence was down 4-2 after 6 rounds. What happened in that fight was, Earl Spence did not make any adjustments. He just fought harder than Kell Brook and broke Kell Brook down. That Spence style, hopefully, it'll make a good mega fight versus. Yeah. It's gonna make a good fight. It's gonna make a good fight, but I'm gonna sit back in my chair because I know what's gonna happen. I know by round 5 and round 6, the cream gonna rise to the top. Terrence Crawford gonna win the fight. He just have too many tools in the tool shed. Just too many, man. I mean, but we'll see though. And when you fight at the highest level, when you get two high level fighters in the ring, little nuances can turn that fight from being a competitive fight to close to a one-sided fight. And I know a lot of people like, oh no, Terrence Crawford won't. It won't be a one-sided fight because everybody think that Terrence Crawford is too small for Earl Spence. See, this is the people that like Earl Spence. They used to say that this. I mean, this was their biggest thing. They said Terrence Crawford was too small for Earl Spence, and this was when Terrence Crawford was still at 140. And everybody said that I want to see how Terrence Crawford do against Jeff Horn because Jeff Horn is a big welterweight, big strong welterweight, right? He pushed Pacquiao around. So when he went in there and Jeff Horn couldn't push Terrence Crawford around, Terrence Crawford was actually pushing him around. People stopped saying that Terrence Crawford can't beat Earl. I mean, that Earl Spence, that Terrence Crawford is too small for Earl Spence. You know what they said? You know what they said? The new thing now is Earl Spence is too skilled for Terrence Crawford. We all know that's a lie. We all know that's a lie. We all know the skill fighters between Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford is Terrence Crawford, man. Period. Point blank. It ain't even close. I would rather have seen Thurman versus Spence. I mean, yeah, I would rather see. I want to see all of them guys fight each other because none of them guys are champions. I want to see all of them guys mix it up, man. If these welterweights, if they get a welterweight turn, look, I'm gonna tell you what a welterweight tournament should look like. They should put 8 people in this tournament, and I'm gonna tell you the 8 people they should put in this tournament. Y'all gonna be like, man, that's a great tournament. Terrence Crawford, Earl Spence, Sean Porter, Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, Floyd Mayweather, and Manny Pacquiao. And then you can probably throw in a Ugas, that welterweight Ugas. Throw all 8 of those guys in a welterweight tournament. Man, we got a great tournament, man. Great tournament. And guess what? All the champions are in the tournament. So whoever wins the tournament will be undisputed. That's how we should handle that's how they should handle this welterweight division because everybody are maneuvering around each other and it seems like everybody playing pickaboo with each other. If you put them in a tournament, there is no more pickaboo. There is no more pickaboo, hide go seek, and let me tag you, you out. No. Everybody in bracket, in the same tournament, and people got to face people. And that's just what it is, man. But I'm going to get out of here, man. I got to go fix dinner, man. I'm going to get out of here, man. It's my turn to fix dinner today. But hey, man, it was good chatting with y'all. Journey, Denzo Journey, LDD95, and who else was up in here? Deantrell Williams. Man, it was nice chatting with y'all, man. That would be a great tournament. Hey, I'm gonna push that tournament too, man. We all in the boxing community should push a welterweight tournament, man, with those 8 names in there. That's explosive. But yeah, man, I'm gonna get out of here. Hey, y'all, I'll be back tomorrow, man. Boxing Talk Nightly is just about every night. Sometimes I may skip a couple nights, but I love chatting, love giving my perspective, love the guys in the comment sections, like y'all guys is giving y'all perspective. Everybody being, being respectful. It's just boxing, man. It's nothing personal. Kell Brook, let Kell Brook fight Amir Khan. Let them 2 guys fight in the UK. That's a big fight in the UK. I keep Kell Brook. I'd rather put Ugas in this tournament than Kell Brook. I'd rather put Ugas because Kell Brook got 2 messed up eyes, man. Nah, keep Kell Brook out. Keep Kell Brook out. He can go fight Amir Khan. Amir Khan don't have that much power, so he won't get his eye re-injured. But yeah, I'm gonna get out of here, y'all. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm out.